Today, I finally break my silence about the OnePlus lineup. Ever since I started this channel, I've been getting questions about it, and I've remained silent. I haven't really talked about it ever, I think, in a video, but now because all these other YouTubers are talking about it, I feel like I finally should, because it appears they're a major player now. What do you think of OnePlus 5? OnePlus 5 this, OnePlus 5 that. Do you think it's copied Apple? What do you think of OnePlus 5? My God, you idiots! It's 6! I feel like this isn't a complicated 1 plus 5, so you got 1 here, got 5 on this hand. You add 1 to it, it's 6. Adding 1 to something is very easy. I don't understand the... Okay, I'm sorry. I had to make that joke. No one was making it, and it's so clearly obvious. So fine, I did it. I made the joke. 1 plus 5 is 6, everyone. There's your answer. So there's a lot of buzz going around because obviously the OnePlus 5 was just introduced. It's got a dual camera. It's got, that's about it, I guess. It's got Bluetooth 5.0 and it's got the, it has a Snapdragon 835. It's a better processor. And it's got the, why are we talking about this? Okay, look, I'll address the elephant in the room. I think the primary reason everyone's asking me about the OnePlus 5 is not because they think I'll like it or they'll think I'll prefer that over my iPhone. I don't think anyone's assuming that. If you are, you're dead wrong. I think everyone's asking what I think of the OnePlus 5 because they want me to rant about how it looks just like an iPhone 7. And because I am, you know, the core Apple sheep, I feel like Apple's defense lawyer, I should rant and complain about the fact that the OnePlus 5 looks like an iPhone. I don't really see it. Everyone keeps saying it looks like an Apple ripoff. I don't really see how it's a clone. All they really did was put a vertical camera in the back and in the same corner. And, you know, they added the microphone to the side of it. And of course, it's a wide and telephoto lens, just like an iPhone. And then after the microphone, they put the flash, just kind of in the same alignment. It's just the back components of a phone. And then they match the exact same screen size of an iPhone 7 Plus, you know, the 5.5 inches, and it's the same resolution even at 1080p. So you have the same 401 pixels per inch, and you have that fingerprint reader on the front that Apple's very proud of, and obviously OnePlus wants to continue. And of course, you have that front-facing camera to the left of the earpiece, just like an iPhone, and they match that matte black color that the iPhone has. And they made the cell bands go up aside a little bit, just like they did on the iPhone 7. So other than those design things that clearly don't resemble any other smartphone, yeah, I don't see how the OnePlus 5 resembles an iPhone at all. There are some definite, unique, original takes that the OnePlus 5 did that Apple obviously didn't. For one, a headphone jack. God, I can't believe you idiots. You're encouraging Bluetooth 5.0. Why not include Bluetooth headphones? This would have been a perfect chance to remove the headphone jack. Could have had a better battery because you reduced the battery size of your last phone. The OnePlus 3T, also stupid name. Could have made more room for stereo speakers. Also, no stereo speakers, which is something all iPhone 7s have that this doesn't. So there's a unique trait. Even though you got that earpiece at the top, it would have worked perfectly fine. And of course, the OnePlus 5 doesn't have water resistance either, like the iPhone 7 does. So there's a difference. And of course, the OnePlus 5 doesn't have the same color options that Apple does, you know, with product red. A lot of people love silver, gold, rose gold, matte black, but of course the option to do jet black as well, which I am personally absolutely loving. OnePlus gives you 2 options, but if you've watched any YouTuber's video on it ever, they will tell you, luckily D-Brand, who definitely didn't sponsor me, makes great skins that you should very carefully apply to yourself because OnePlus doesn't want to manufacture different colored phones. They're gonna make you do all the work. No. You buy a different skin, you take the chance of getting it a little off-centered, and then everyone looks at your phone and says, is that a case? And you're like, no, it's a skin. And they're like, why didn't you just get a case that doesn't protect it? And you're like, because then I can change the back of the design and make it feel more like, you know, a piece of plastic. That's what D-Brand's great for. I got a D-Brand skin. It's okay. I guess I would put it on an older phone to make the scratches get covered up, but I wouldn't put it on a brand new phone. And yet every single YouTuber is saying that you should buy this phone and immediately get a skin. You know, you have to heat it up and you have to go through this 10-minute process of making sure you align everything just right and then apply it. That's how I like to unbox my phone, when I have immediate work to do, because customization's great. But then of course there's the Galaxy S8, which I have crowned king of all of Android, as in if you're going to go with Android, at least have some exclusivity, which Samsung provides. That infinity display, the removal of bezels is great. Very good water resistance. I've taken that thing into a pool, it did great. Amazing camera, there's not 2, but it's great. Wireless charging, iris scanner. Again, I don't choose the S8 as the best smartphone of the year, but at least there's some advantages you have when buying a Samsung. Now, of course, the big advantage with the OnePlus 5 is that it's cheaper, right? It's about 70% of what an iPhone costs, and you're getting a lot of the same stuff. However, I personally seem that we make excuses for cheaper smartphones, given, you know, when something like the S8 comes out, we all want to compare it to the iPhone 7. Look how big the bezels are. Look how ugly it is. Apple's behind the times. And the iPhone 7's been out for 9 months, and then this comes out, and it's just a cheaper version of an iPhone 7 that runs Android. Almost everything about it is similar, of course, for those couple of things that they don't have. And we all get excited about it, like this is big deal. I personally find it frustrating that this phone would actually steal customers from Apple, because I've said this time and time again, and I feel very repetitive, so I apologize if I've preached this to you before, but the reason we all go back to our iPhones isn't necessarily because in a one-on-one street fight, the iPhone versus the OnePlus 5 or the S8 can compete equally. It's because when I get an iPhone, I can have the greatest smartwatch, the Apple Watch. It works amazingly with the best tablet that's ever been made, the 10.5-inch iPad. Works seamlessly with AirPods. I can airdrop so quickly to my MacBook and edit my ultra high resolution video that I shot on my iPhone in a professional editing app like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. That's why we're in the iPhone ecosystem. So before you start saying that the OnePlus 5 is an iPhone killer, keep in mind it runs Android, and that's the primary reason we're not switching. I think the OnePlus 5 has a very narrow niche. It's for people who don't like Apple for the sake that they're the big guys, that they're the cliche flagship developers. They would rather go with someone smaller who's not as big, and instead specialties in making phones that aren't as expensive but don't have as many features. So at the end of the day, you're really just getting what you pay for, and we're all getting excited about that. No, I'm not gonna review the OnePlus 5 because I know exactly how I'd feel about it. I would unbox it, say the build quality's pretty good. It's nice that it's cheaper, but overall I'm gonna go with the iPhone again and again because of the exclusives. So if you're going to make an Android phone, OnePlus, if I have to suggest anything, it's gonna be that you make it your own. I'm not really bothered by the fact that they exactly replicated what an iPhone looks like. That's fine, you can do that all you want. I'm just saying, I don't know who you're trying to help, because the people who want an iPhone are just gonna buy an iPhone, and people who look at your phone are gonna notice that it runs Android, and the only people interested in buying a phone that runs Android is someone who doesn't care about the iPhone. So when you make your phone look like an iPhone, who are you helping? Just for the sake of marketing, make your phone just look a little bit unique. It makes some exclusive features, and by the way, 8 gigabytes of RAM is not an exclusive feature. No one's gonna use that up. That's incredibly overkill, and I guarantee you that the Geekbench scores for the OnePlus 5 are still not as high as an iPhone 7, which of course has way less RAM, but RAM is the size of the desk. It doesn't mean more work gets done, it just means you can do a lot of things at once, and when you're working with a 5.5-inch display, there's not that much you can do. So rearrange the cameras on the back, put the flash somewhere else, make it vertical, I don't care. Put that front-facing camera on the right or something. Think of a more clever way to add in stereo speakers. But if you're going to make a phone that's not by Apple, don't cater it towards Apple users, because we're not switching. Those are my thoughts on the OnePlus 5. I'd love to hear all yours in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.